Paul Dama survived Boko Haram's torture in Nigeria in 2018, came to America, now works as the manager at his family's Nigerian restaurant, Suya Joint, in Nubian Square. Early this month, while on his way to church, he was taken into custody by ICE. We're joined now by his sister, chef and owner of Suya Joint, Cecilia Lizotte. Cecilia, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about the situation.
So tell us what happened on June the 15th.
All right. So on the 14th, which is a Saturday night, I was with myself, my brother, and my daughter, Vanessa Lizotte, and we hugged one another, said goodbye at the end of our shift on Saturday. And on the 15th, on Father's Day, I woke up as usual, just going through my phone, and then I see a restricted number coming through. I was kind of skeptical to answer it, but when I had to answer, just for me to hear my brother's voice on the other side, he says, "So Cecilia, Ninifa and Okeni. Hi, Cecilia, this is Paul. They've picked me up." And I'm like, "What do you mean they picked you up?" So at that point, I felt sick to my stomach. And so I asked him, where was he going? He mentioned to me that he just came down to his car on his way to go to church. And he did notice like activity around his apartment where he lives in Brockton, Massachusetts. But instead of going back to the house, he got into his car to drive. And then he was followed by, first of all, a car. And then after he pulled over to the side of the street, there were like about 4 to 5 vans that just came and barricaded him. "You're under arrest. What's your name? Get out of your car," which he abided, he followed, and he cooperated with them.
He came, correct me if I'm wrong, Cecilia, he came to the country legally. He did overstay his visa. He had a DUI on his record, but no other criminal or no other problems in his background. Tell us a little bit about your brother and what he did in this country.
So yes, apart from working with me at this restaurant, Suya Joint in Boston, he also works with at Nexus, and I believe it's what you call this thing, like home health care, where he helps the disabled and stuff like that. Law-abiding citizen, comes to check on his niece, Vanessa and Erica, goes out to birthday parties or his birthday parties, and he's always at the restaurant, just makes everybody feel at home, both the Nigerians and non-Nigerians. So when you come over there, there's like a sense, there's a comfort where it's like, yes, I feel like I'm in a establishment that does have African food, just from interaction with community members. And he's helped even during COVID-19, like to give out food to what you call this in like the frontline workers when everywhere was shut down. So he was very much involved with that.
How is he, when you've spoken to him, how is he? He had a hearing, and my understanding is he has another bond hearing on July 3rd, I believe. Not the 3rd, yeah. How is he doing, and how are you doing?
I personally am distraught. I think like each time I get this question, when I think my tears are done, I'm not going to cry anymore, but I just get so much emotion. I feel really teary-eyed, and then like and I just don't want to repeat what happened on Father's Day. And then in terms of how is he feeling, apparently he's being almost like anticipating this, expecting it, just because we see it on the news. Yeah. So when it happened, he did cooperate with them. He did not have any reason to fight with anybody. He's grateful that he was able to actually make, I think, like the first initial phone call when he was in Burlington, Mass, to let me know that this is where he is. And then after that, they proceeded to take him to Dover, New Hampshire, where right now, on a daily basis, it's almost like, okay, what's going to happen? Because people are being transferred to any other detention center without giving the ability to call your family members to say, okay, this is what's happening. So it actually happens in the middle of the night when the inmates wake up, like, okay, 5 people are gone, 3 people, and nobody knows where they are. So I am crossing my fingers, as well as Paul, very, very prayerful to see that he's still right just here in New Hampshire, where we're able to either go visit him if we have to.
You know, it's important to point out that according to his attorney, all his work authorizations and legal paperwork is up to date, and he was in good standing and trying to comply with what he needed to comply with. So do you have any sense of how they even singled him out?
I do not have any sense of that. The only thing that sometimes when I speak to him where he is, apparently there are a lot of asylum case seekers where they are. So it seems like, I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe they washed off everyone that has a pending asylum case.
Yeah.
And they're asking them to start all over again. So the first hearing that took place, it was just, okay, here's another piece of paper, go and reapply. And with that reapplying, we don't know if it's something that is going to fast track it. Nobody knows.
Do you know, when Trump was first running, I mean, a lot of people have said who have come here from other countries and were trying to get citizenship or had followed the orders, et cetera, they did not expect this. They expected the president and ICE to go after people that were, thieves and sexual predators and that kind of stuff. They didn't think they would go after people that were trying their best to do a good job in the United States. What did your community think?
The same way on a daily basis when we post asking for request help, that's what I'm seeing where, yes, they said that they're going after criminals. They're going after people that have more offense than what it is that Paul has. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing others, even just speaking with Paul, where he is, there are a few people, I was just at work and they picked me up and their record is clean. There's nothing. So in that aspect, I have no idea. I think there was one person that it was almost like just a change of address. He moved from his sister's house to another place, but he didn't change it on time, and he was also picked up. So all the stories varies.
Cecilia, I want to read. Sarah Betancourt, our colleague, has done wonderful reporting on these things. In 2018, as I mentioned, Dama was kidnapped and tortured by the notorious Boko Haram, a group designated as a terrorist organization by the U.S. He was released only after his family paid the ransom, fled the country. If he was deported, what would happen to him in your estimation?
My estimation is almost like, okay, so you thought you were gone and you were safe. No, they'll just pick him up, and that's not because he's now going to be a target. It's on the news, he's seeing this, and it's like now it's high risk.
So how can people? We're talking to Cecilia Lizotte, who's Paul Dama's sister, and owns Suya Joint in Nubian Square.
But she's worried about having to close.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without him, how can people help him and also help you and your business?
So right now we've been getting a lot of help, which I'm very, very grateful to the community. We created a GoFundMe just to help out with his living expenses when he comes out, because now it's like 3 days right now. 3 weeks, I'm sorry, that he hasn't been to work. So all the living expenses are adding up. And then the attorney fees, it's just adding up. Any attorney that you speak to, until you get a retainer, they're not able to open your file. So how can we help through the GoFundMe, and keep praying for us, sharing what we're sharing on Instagram, so that anyone that can assist, help us, or even give us any kind of resources, we really appreciate it. But as of right now, we're crossing our fingers, being very, very hopeful, keeping faith for July 3rd.
And the GoFundMe is under his name, Paul Dama, Dama?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's under his name.
Okay,
yes.
just wanted to check.
And go to the restaurant, which is spectacular, and help keep this business alive as well. Cecilia, will you stay in touch with us? And we hope you will. And let us know what's going on in any way we can get the story out, please.
Yes, I will. I'll definitely keep in touch. I have your information, and I'll keep any kind of update that comes in. And please just keep us in prayers. And I really appreciate you having me to have a conversation about what's going on.
We really appreciate
Thank
taking
you.
the time.
And good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you and your brother.